episode of Just a Bit Outside. I'm your host, Steve Ely, and along with me, as always, my co-host, Wes Cook.
I'm back.
Yes, you are, sir. We're back. It's been a minute.
Just a little bit.
Eh,
Little technical difficulties getting this thing started, but I think we got it figured out for the best part we could for this episode. So we'll be able to get it in. We'll have to work with Audio Tech
yeah.
to get this thing squared away.
Yes, sir. We'll get there. I'll just sound a little weak today.
Yeah, stupid ass thing.
All my points will be extra soft.
You won't be able to scream. You can scream in the mic. Maybe that'll get your point across.
Ah!
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know about all that.
Yeah. Well. So let's dig in and get at it, because a lot of action across the sports world that we need to catch up on. We had a big week of football. It started last Thursday with the Niners and the Seahawks.
Yes, sir, it did.
Yeah, Brock Purdy had himself a day.
It was a very interesting game for them. Very interesting. Still lingering on the McCaffrey stuff. Mason goes down.
Yeah, that did not help them at all, because Mason is, really, for a backup running back, he's outperforming what you would expect from that guy, right?
He's running the ball great.
Yeah.
Where they're missing McCaffrey the most, though, is probably in that passing game.
Yeah, being able to get a guy as dynamic as McCaffrey on the field is, going to be a world changer for that offense.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, his ability to catch the ball out of the backfield and just make them use another DB to protect in the backfield, or even a linebacker at times.
Yeah.
And it opens up so much more. And with Mason, you can kind of scheme around him on that part, where you can allow for him to try to catch the ball in the backfield, but he's just not nearly as explosive.
No. McCaffrey, if he decides he doesn't want to take the punishment of being a running back, he's every bit as probably as good as you're going to get as far as a slot receiver.
Yeah.
You could probably put out there.
I agree with you.
Sorry, a long way to get to that point, but I got there. But, the game was good. I watched actually watched the majority of it.
It was a good one to catch. Absolutely. Niners now back to 500, and they bring the Seahawks down to 500 with them.
Yep.
Now on to the Sunday slate of games. They all started at 1:00. My Birds are back off a bye, which was great to see. They wanted to get back into the field of things. I felt like the week prior I just wasn't involved, and
Well, you really weren't. So, I
Yeah.
mean, I get it.
yeah, went out of town with a girlfriend for the weekend, so that was fun. And then we just just didn't we drove back on Sunday, so it wasn't like we were super involved in watching a lot of the football action anyway.
Yeah.
I just kind of watched a couple bets, and then I watched my fantasy football teams play. So
Yeah.
I was only interested in that. It is kind of nice in the bye week. I just hate it so early. And
It's nice because it's less stress.
it is less stress, yeah. Because this game gave me all the stress. I was all the Birds. Defensively they were sound, but you can't say much because they were playing the Browns, and that offense is
Abysmal.
awful.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're trash. But
And
No.
only going to get trashier.
right,
Losing Amari Cooper, trading Amari Cooper today.
you're taking away a weapon. Deshaun Watson already can't throw, and now you're taking away someone that actually makes a quarterback better. It just it looks like it's going to be a fire sale for the Browns. Do you make a call for like Myles Garrett here?
I saw a thing this morning, and they were talking about Detroit losing Hutchinson. Is Garrett a guy
We'll
you
talk
take a
about that
swing at?
later, but yeah. Garrett's a dude like that. You're talking about, are the Raiders ready to sell? You got Crosby.
Yeah.
It could be there to be had, maybe. There's a lot that really is determined in these upcoming weeks, especially with the trade deadline approaching.
Yeah, it's
So now you're going to have people that are, buyers, and there's people that are sellers. And, the Browns 100% should be selling.
Yeah.
You got to build this thing up from the ground. And it's you need a fresh start. You need to redo it all, right? And you're only going to be able to do it in little bits to get up there. So right now, if I'm a Browns GM, I'm stockpiling picks, and I'm stockpiling picks that aren't necessarily next year, but 2
Yeah.
years down the road,
Yeah.
3 years down the road. So when you're out from underneath this contract, then you're able to start really building a base and something to look forward to in the future.
Well, they got
'Cause-
2 more years on it.
At least 2. It might be 3.
Well, the first year he was suspended. Last year, correct? Am I wrong in that? And then this year. Which last year he played half the year. He got hurt.
Yeah. So yeah, you might be right. Yeah, but still, before it's a manageable thing, you're at least 2 years, right? Before that contract's manageable to even just cut Deshaun, right? You're gonna be
It doesn't matter. It was all guaranteed.
yeah.
So I'm to the point I would almost rather cut him now and be done with it.
But you still have the dead cap you're carrying for years. Maybe they're hoping to see something out of him. They just, given more time. But I think through 6 weeks, you've gotten what you're going to get here.
He's a shell
No,
of what he was.
absolutely.
He's not the guy that was in Houston.
No, not at all. And this is, I think, unfortunately, what the Browns are going to get here. This is it. There's nothing else for you.
See what happens when you take his rub and tugs away.
Do the Browns pay for his rub and tugs now? What?
I don't know.
Just legal ones?
They got to do something.
Yeah. Well, that's, but not to take anything away, the Browns' defense was legit in this game, right? They played the Birds tight, which I expected they would. But the most surprising thing was seeing Barkley get 18 carries and didn't even surpass 50 yards on the ground.
Oof.
So
Well,
bad
that's-
clip. But that's what the Browns are. They're
That's the
good
Browns
on defense.
defense,
But
yeah.
that's the thing, though. You have a solid defense. Now, they're not just a quarterback away. The O-line's not good. They're not giving the protection that Watson needs to at least be somewhat successful back there.
Isn't that the same O-line that Joe Flacco was throwing behind last year?
For the most part, it is, but you're talking about two different quarterbacks here too.
Yeah.
Flacco's a seasoned veteran, obviously at 52 years old. I know I'm exaggerating, but still, he's
Yeah.
he's been there. He's been everywhere in this league, and he's been pretty successful across the league.
Well, he's winning games with the Colts right now.
Exactly. I mean, that's the thing. So that when you look at it, I'm not saying they're a quarterback away though. I mean, I am saying I'm not saying that because there's so much more. Like you definitely need to shore up the O-line, and now you need a wide receiver.
Yeah.
Because it's not going to be Jerry Jeudy. I promise you that. Not by himself.
They're fire selling.
They're fire selling, and it's a good start, right? But like I said, stockpile some picks, and just prepare to be a dumpster fire for the next year and a half, 2 years.
Oh, you mean just be Cleveland?
Exactly. Yeah, it's nothing they're not used to already.
Just be Cleveland.
Yeah, it's nothing they're not used to. Just try every possible way to keep that defense as good as it is over that course, and then start putting the pieces together on offense later on down the line, and then you might have something that you can look forward to. I mean, look, Houston built themselves overnight by making a smart draft, or a smart trade, right?
Yeah.
So the same could be had, but just not at this time. Because outside of Myles Garrett, what piece do you have? Myles Garrett is not going to garner you multiple first-round picks, unfortunately.
I think Myles probably would.
What is he, 28 now?
Yeah, dude. He's still got another 5 years.
Yeah, sure.
5, 6 years.
I don't think you're getting multiple first-rounders. You may get a first and a second. I think is stretching it for that guy. But I mean, you're not going to get the value you gave away for Deshaun Watson.
No. Well, no. First of all, you gave too much away.
Well, obviously. I mean, hindsight's 20/20. If he was out here balling out, everybody'd be like, "Oh, okay, we're okay." But he's not. So they were hoping to get that Deshaun Watson that was in Houston and lighting up scoreboards and just putting on a show on the field offensively. And you got the complete opposite. You got a guy that's. I love using the word washed, but it's definitely I use it a lot. He's done. Yeah, he's cooked.
I think I don't think there's a resurgence for him. And at this point,
if you were going to see it, you would have saw it by now, right?
Yeah. And I got to imagine, I don't think he's getting any more chances. I don't think anybody's bringing this guy in to be a backup.
Why? He's shown me nothing that shows that he would be a good backup, and he looks to be a cancer in the damn locker room.
Yeah.
You go off on the internet and everything. He's got fake ass Twitter accounts.
Yep.
And trying to defend himself. And dude, just go out there and ball. Defend yourself. Defend yourself by playing the way that you're capable of playing. That's it.
Yep. That's exactly it. But he can't even do that. He's done.
No, he's too worried about what people say about him on the internet, and he's pulling a complete KD at this moment.
Yeah, but KD at least backs it up.
Yeah, he can. He still does. I mean, I don't know how he does. He concerns himself too much with what people say about him, but he still goes out and gets it done at least.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
Yes, he does.
Well, the Birds weren't very impressive offensively in this game, which is fair. I mean, they played a good defense, so I didn't see anything that made me say, "Oh, we're on the right track offensively." Defensively, I mean, this one's not anything to write home about. You held them to 9 points on offense. So, I mean that's good, but it's Cleveland's offense that you played. So, we got the Giants next week, so this is Daniel Jones. If you come out and show out against Daniel Jones, do I feel much more comfortable about the defense? Probably not. But now I would like to come out and beat the brakes off of them and throw over 30 points on the board for once and score in the first quarter, for God's sake.
Yeah, you guys can't score in the first quarter for nothing. It's been a little difficult for you guys.
Well, that's what I wanted to see coming out of the bye, right? Like, what was our plan of attack? What is the pre-scripted game play, right? Coming into this game, and are we going to be able to, put together a drive that puts points on the boards? I don't even care if it's a fucking field goal. That's progress at this point.
It is progress. It is.
It's not, ultimately what you want to do is score in one of your first two drives.
Yeah.
But we're not doing that right now. And you're either getting behind like you did in Tampa, or you're fighting tooth and nail to the end of a game like you were here, or fighting tooth and nail like you were in the other two wins that you had. So it's just.
I personally believe you guys are going to be looking for a new coach at the end of the year.
I mean, something's got to change otherwise. Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. You're going to be looking for one if things don't change.
I mean, I didn't see a whole lot of it. I saw kind of like clips of it, but it sounds like the fans were giving him crap, and he kind of was lashing back.
Well, I mean that's who he is. This is the thing, and I said it earlier to somebody today. Nick Sirianni is the coach that you like to have on your team, and when you're coaching against him or you're against the Eagles or whatever team he's coaching for, you hate the guy, right? I like his passion. He kind of fits the Philly fan base a bit, especially with his arrogance and whatnot. However, you got a big part of being, from Philly or for Philly is you got to be able to give it as much as you take, or take it. You got to be able to take it as much as you give it, right?
Yeah.
You can talk all the shit you want as long as you're backing it up, and when you put a performance like that out there, especially what you just seen from the offense in general for the entire year, you've got nothing to chirp back about, and especially when you beat a 1-4 Browns team.
Is he in charge of the offense, or is he actually letting Kellen Moore do it?
That's the whole thing. I don't think he is. I mean, I there's no really rhyme or reason to it. There's nothing that's conclusive to say that he has his hand in the offense. But if you go back and look at the Chargers' offense last year and a lot of the routes like Keenan Allen ran and how complex they were and diverse and how much they changed,
yeah.
And then you go look at like A.J. Brown's routes this year. They look very similar to last year's. So that leads me to believe that Sirianni has his hand in the offense in some capacity, because another thing about this is Brian Johnson, who was the OC last year, is in Washington, and look at what he's doing with a rookie quarterback.
Oh, God, yeah.
I mean, there's one common denominator here, and it's Nick Sirianni.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of the guy. I don't know. He just rubs me wrong.
Yeah, he'll rub anybody wrong. Absolutely.
But it's just like sometimes I just feel like just do your job. Sometimes the best way to do your job is to stop meddling and let the people that you pay do their jobs.
Right. Offensive coordinator, D coordinator.
Yeah.
There's a reason Kellen Moore came in here. And we moved on from Brian Johnson because someone had to be the fall guy from last year for how bad the offense was down the stretch. And that was Brian Johnson. So now when you kind of have the same field that the end of last year had, it's something. It wasn't the OC.
What are you guys?
It's not the OC. 3-2.
3-13 in your last.
Yeah, something abysmal like that. It's bad. I don't know.
Or something like that. You started out 10-1.
10-1. I think it even went. Yeah, I think they got to 11-1, and then they lost everyone since. So
3 counting the playoffs.
Or in the counting the playoffs last year, and then of course we've won 3 games this year. But yeah, so 3 and 9 maybe in the last 12 games.
Yeah, it's not very good.
It's not good. No, not at all. regardless of what that record is, it's really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially when you add in pieces and we got healthy in the bye week, you should see a lot more from that offense, and we're not seeing it. So
You should see an explosion coming out of the bye week.
I agree. Yeah. And we
Every
didn't
team
have it.
should have it.
We
Every
didn't have it. Yeah.
All right. I'll let you. We'll move forward. We'll talk about the London game for a second.
Yeah, you had the Bears and the Jags over there.
Yeah.
Well, that's not really exciting for those British over there.
I mean, the Jags play a game.
It was absolute rubbish over there.
It was terrible. Terrible.
Right. I mean, yeah.
Jacksonville, I don't know what's going on with them.
I told you, man. I think Trevor Lawrence is hurt. There's something they're hiding about him, and it's just he doesn't look nearly as good as he did the previous years.
Yeah.
And there's no progression to him whatsoever. So there's something there that is, is it play calling? Who knows? I don't know. I mean, it just looks bad.
Is it lack of a true number one, maybe?
I mean, offensively, that could always have an effect, right? I mean, if you've got no one that you can rely upon to get you those long third downs and things to, really open up the play calling, yeah. I mean, that's going to say something about it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
It's crazy they got no number ones, and then the team they played this weekend has potentially 3 number ones.
yeah, I agree.
I mean, just insane. Insane.
And the running back solid too. I mean, they went out and got Swift, and I mean, we've all seen Swift. Swift's good.
Swift was real good.
Yeah, I mean, he's a true one. The running back that you feed him early and often, he's really gonna help your offense make that defense work.
Yeah.
And the Jaguars saw it as they got just demolished over there across the pond. Your pack handled business against the Call of Duty Warriors down there in Arizona.
Yeah. New Call of Duty comes out at the end of this month.
Yeah, he's prepping. They're already 2-4. Started off to a good. They had a good start to the year, and you thought Arizona's turned a corner, and then we're like, yeah, no, they haven't.
He'll be hurt in 3 weeks.
Yeah, he's gonna be hurt in 3 weeks. Yep.
Got carpal tunnel.
Hitting the sticks too hard, man. Hitting the sticks too hard. But
Absolutely.
Boys, your boys took care of business. They're now 4-2.
The NFC North is starting to look tight.
Yeah, you got to say. I mean, the Bears are 4-2.
Bears are 4-2.
The Bears are on the lighter part of their schedule to start the year, so things do get a lot more difficult for Caleb Williams in the coming weeks.
They do.
Once they have to start diving into that NFC North division slate of games, it's going to be difficult because Detroit looks like the best team in the NFC.
Detroit looked fantastic on Sunday.
Yeah, we'll dig into that later. But just a quick touch there. The Packers are looking good. They're getting into a groove. I would love to score 34 points in a game. I don't know what that's like.
It's been a minute for you. I like the 30 points. 30 points works good for me.
Yeah, usually if you score 30 points in a game, you're going to win. The Packers look good. You see Jordan Love's just getting back into the groove. He's coming over that injury, and he's doing really, really well.
Yep.
22 of 32, 258 yards, and 4 touchdowns. So.
Yeah, I know. I played that this weekend. That was my opposing fantasy quarterback.
Oh, you went against Love?
Yeah.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Ouch. Yeah, that's a tough one to overcome.
Dude, that was a good. I felt good going into Sunday when I got like 19 from Cole Kmet. I was like, ooh, I got a shot at this thing.
Yeah, that Sunday morning game, and you start getting those early scores, you're like, nice.
Well, between him and my kicker from Thursday, I had 31 points.
Yeah.
A kicker and a tight end, I had 31 points.
You're doing okay.
Yeah.
That leads you to believe that the rest of the team should show up and take care of business for you.
It is what it is. I'm used to it by now. Again, I don't care about finishing first as long as I don't finish last.
Well, yeah, that's important in our fantasy league for sure. Yeah, and the punishment is worsened by not washing the Hooters outfit this year.
Ugh.
Yeah, just a reminder for you guys out there that do not know. Next game was the Colts at the Titans, another abysmal team. Will Levis is just having a rough go at it this year. I mean, really doesn't have a whole lot of options. There's not much of an offense that's been put there. I mean, you look at that roster top to bottom, and it's
You got an aging DeAndre Hopkins, Calvin Ridley. I don't know why they signed Pollard. Pollard is horrible.
yeah. I mean, he proved in Dallas he's not an every down back. Try to utilize him that way, but it's just not going to work. I mean, he didn't have a tough game, or he didn't have a bad game. I mean, 17 carries, 93 yards, and a tutty. But
Yeah. But you're also playing a Colts defense that's not upper echelon by no means. I mean,
and you're playing Joe Flacco.
yeah, who actually played okay.
Yeah, I mean, he's game managing like a boss right now, so I can give him that.
He's always been that.
Yeah. No, I mean, he always has, but I'm just saying he's keeps on doing it. Yeah. But, yeah, no, the Titans look awful. And, yeah, it's one of those wins that you can just look forward to every week, week in and week out. You should beat the Titans.
Yeah. There's several teams like that right about now.
Yeah. The Browns were the other one so far. Patriots, another one.
Patriots can stay in games there.
I'll tell
Their
you this,
defense
though. I mean, I was shocked to see how well Drake May played.
played fantastic.
Drake May came out bald.
I know he threw a couple of picks, but all rookies throw picks,
They're
man.
going to throw picks. They're still learning the game. They got to get the game speed down, too.
But-
And, you know, that's, I mean,
But he did look good. I was impressed.
Still came in there, played against a 4-1 Texans team, who, granted, is now 5-1. Especially, I mean, the Patriots, they're supposed to be known for defense, but C.J. Stroud and the boys manhandled that defense,
Yes, sir.
Hanging-
They did.
hanging 41 on them.
They did, sir. They did.
Yeah, so, the Texans at 5-1 now. They look like a AFC contender. Can't say enough about C.J. Stroud. That dude is phenomenal, and he's surprising everybody,
Well,
and
that
he
whole-
continues to surprise everybody because he's out here. I mean,
The whole team surprised me. What really surprised me is the fact that the Patriots gave up almost 200 yards rushing.
no, I mean that's when you got a guy that can get out of the pocket and handle it like he does, and then you just Joe Mixon. I knew it too. Like coming into the year, I was like, Mixon's gonna be a running back that you're gonna want in fantasy because
Oh yeah.
you're putting him in an offense that's already shown that it can put up points and is going to be successful. And this is exactly what you got.
Well, the crazy part is Mixon only had 13 carries
Yeah,
for 102 yards.
money.
Back up.
Money.
Damian Pierce had 8 carries for 76 yards. Just ridiculous right there.
Just found gaps upon gaps upon gaps.
And then you talk about that, then you talk about their 3 possible number 1 wide receivers between Stephon Diggs, Tank Dell, and Nico Collins.
Nico's out.
Well,
Nico wasn't even in this game.
yeah, I know. And they still dropped them like that.
Yep.
Like nothing changes for this team, man. They're gonna. Oof. I mean, are they the best team in the AFC?
I'm not going to call them the best yet, but they're definitely up there. Like I said, they're a competitor in the AFC.
It's them in Baltimore at the moment.
Yeah, then Baltimore. They can't take out Kansas City yet.
Kansas City. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, dude, I've got a lot of things to say about Kansas City right now. They've been handed a lot of gifts.
They have.
Handed a lot of gifts, and it's pretty. You've kind of seen it a lot this year. I mean, they're what 4-1 also.
Kansas City?
Yeah, or have they lost yet? Thought they lost one.
Well, this was their bye week, so I think they're 4-0. Pretty sure they're 4-0. We're 5-0.
Yeah, I'm looking at the standings now. They are 5-0.
Yeah, I thought so.
But they've been given several gifts of games.
No, I mean it's absolutely true. They've
Atlanta-
been given gifts. And we know they're the league darling right now, and there's always one of them, right?
Yeah.
That's them.
It's them.
So
them for a
as long as they're able to stay close in games, they know that they have the fortunate events that may come their way that allow for them to squeak things out. They're not going to go undefeated this year. It's going to be impossible to do so. Not with the way they struggle against even some of the mid-tier guys. So
Why are they not in the wide receiver market?
I don't know.
To be honest, why are they not?
Yeah, I mean, making the trades that went down today. You're talking about Amari Cooper to the Bills. You're talking about Devontae Adams moving to New York. I think that was inevitable anyway. There was talks of that in the offseason. So.
Well, he had kind of like said that he wanted to be traded essentially to two places: the Jets and the Saints. Dude only wants to play with two quarterbacks.
I don't blame him. He likes those guys. Those are guys he has rapport with, and things worked for him. I mean,
Yeah.
he's a 1,000-yard receiver for the two, and O'Connell, whoever it is, that's not the guy. It's definitely not Garner. So
No.
I mean, makes sense. So, but you make a good point. I mean, Kansas City for the last 3 years need a wide receiver.
Well, I mean, they took Worthy this year.
No, I mean I get that, and I guess they're just banking that Rice is that guy, but now he's gone. So why are you not?
I mean, they could have got. I mean, you saw what the Bills got traded for Cooper, right?
It was Cooper a 6, and they got a 2nd and a 6 in return.
It was Cooper. The Bills received Cooper and a 6th, and the Browns got a 3rd and a 7th.
Oh. Okay.
That sounds pretty dirt cheap to me.
It does. I mean, that's something Kansas City could certainly afford, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yes, they can very much afford that.
Well, that's what you get, though. And then you give Josh Allen another weapon and strengthen a team that could compete against you later here on down in the season.
Oh, yeah.
Moving on, Bucks just dismantled the Saints. I guess I did say it. I thought the Saints were kind of fool's gold those first 2 weeks, and they've lost 4 straight since. So,
how about putting 27 up in a quarter
yeah, just one quarter.
and still losing?
Still losing. But, I mean, at halftime, it was 27-24.
It's insane.
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah, I mean, Baker Mayfield just putting on clinics left and right now.
Yeah. Living rent free in the Texas fan favorite, too. Lord. He sounded pretty happy in that interview, though.
Why not?
Oh, yeah. He's living the life, bro.
He is. I mean, everybody's still underestimating the guy, and he's still coming out balling.
I've never underestimated him.
We've talked about it before. We're big fans of Baker Mayfield and what he can accomplish. He does good things, man.
He does great things when you give him the opportunity.
Give him the pieces and let him work, and this is what he get. This is what the Browns could have had. You just got to stick with a guy like that and put the right pieces around. But you didn't trust in him, and you go off and do what you did.
Yeah.
This is the grave you built for yourself or dug for yourself. And I mean, this is kind of like just the ultimate fuck you. And Baker's just double-barreled at him all the time.
A lot of fuck yous going around
Yeah.
in the league right now. A lot. Several of them going the Jets way, if you want to be honest about it. I mean, for real. I mean, you got Sam Darnold doing what he's doing in Minnesota.
Yep.
You've got Geno Smith.
I mean, yeah, he looks good.
He's been playing the part. He's been playing well.
About as much as you can ask for that guy.
A lot better than he played in New York.
Well, I mean, that's every quarterback that's been there since Favre has been trash.
Yeah. Was Favre after Pennington?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was because Pennington had a short career.
Mm-hmm.
Shoulder issues, I remember now. Yeah. Yeah, they've all been trash. Sanchez,
A butt fumble.
Darnold, frickin'
Zach Wilson.
yep. I mean, bad.
Who was it? Mike White.
Mike White.
Was it Mike
Yeah.
White? Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, he was like an undrafted guy.
Well, no, I get it, but still, he started a lot of stints there, like 2 or 3 different stints, and they thought he was the guy, then he wasn't the guy. They thought he was the guy again, he wasn't.
Here's the problem: when you're having to think a guy's the guy, he's not the guy.
No, you're right.
It's not a think. That's not a thinking issue. That is, you either know he's the guy or he's not the guy.
Fair. Yeah. Well, moving on, we had a really good game that started the end of the 1 o'clock game slates. You had the Commodes and the Ravens.
Fantastic game. I watched all of that one.
No, that's the one that we had on at Joel's house. So I saw a lot of that one. That was really good. I mean, the Ravens kind of controlled it for the most part. It got a little close at the fourth quarter, made guys like Mox a little scared.
Oh, I'm sure.
But, I mean, Baltimore's still doing their thing. They're 4-2. I appreciate the Ravens going ahead and giving Washington an L, allow for us to stay competitive in the NFC East. But no, overall, it was a good game. Both quarterbacks showed out, did good things. Not too many mistakes in this one.
No. King Henry was King Henry as normal.
Man, 132 yards, a couple of touchdowns. I appreciate Derrick Henry for taking care of me in fantasy football there. Much appreciated, bro.
I do agree with the video that you sent me the other day about the Derrick Henry going to be the last
Yeah.
great running back, the last 10,000-yard running back.
Well, I mean, it's true. And you go back and you look at that. You just look at the guys that are close. And they're not even really that close.
No.
Especially when you compare their age and things like that. So Christian McCaffrey might be it. But, these injuries and things that are lingering around, maybe he's not.
Yeah.
Then Zeke was kind of a far way off. And
Yep.
he's aged out.
Yeah, he's done. He's washed. McCaffrey, Kamara's, he's hurt too much.
I mean, he's a little. He came back to a little bit of a form of his former self here early on, but he's kind of faded off again.
Yep.
Yeah, man,
I mean, I can't see.
it's true. You don't see a great running back. I mean, they say like Saquon's gonna have to have 5 good years of 1,000 yards to get there. What is he? Was it like 5,500 or something?
Yeah.
So,
But the problem with Saquon tends to get nicked up for a couple games every year.
yeah, if not the good chunk of the year, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's stayed healthy for the most part this year, but still, I mean, you gotta be. Yeah, this is 1 year under your belt, and you're 8. And you're only getting older.
That's it.
So it's not like you're going to be able to run off 5 consecutive years of 1,000 yards,
Yeah, I don't
especially
see
as
that.
you get older. So,
And then as far as the young guys,
I mean, a lot left to be seen from some of these guys. I mean, you would have guys like Nick Chubb, but, you've seen 2 gruesome knee injuries out of that guy. There's no way you can expect something big out of him after this.
yeah, him coming back and playing, in my opinion, is just a miracle enough.
I agree.
I mean, just
Yeah.
terrible. Anyway, we'll move on to the
The 4 o'clock slate,
yes, sir.
you had the Chargers and Broncos. Justin Herbert doing a lot with little. 3-2. Not where I expected the Chargers to be at this point in the season.
I still think they're a wild card contender still, but I think they still got a lot of work to do. They're still a little bit in cap hell,
Yep.
so we'll see.
I'll tell you, the Broncos are the worst team to try to bet. They're 3-3. Sometimes they're up and they're like, "Yeah, man, this is awesome." But they were down 23-0 in this game till the fourth quarter.
It was over.
Yeah. And you're like, how do you? It's just you can't bet the Broncos right now. They're just so unpredictable. You don't know which team you're getting week in or week out. As a fan, that's got to be miserable. I mean, at least as an Eagles fan, I know what I'm getting. I'm going to get a close game that I don't deserve or a blowout loss.
Love your optimism. Love it. It's terrible to say about your own team, but I feel it every Saturday. So I know.
I'm a damn realist.
Yeah, realist. Being a realist makes my heart hurt, though.
It does, but you got to be sometimes. Otherwise, you have high expectations and get
Bo
let down.
Nix, what do you think? How you feel about Bo Nix? I feel like he's been playing okay.
Well, that's my biggest thing with Bo Nix. He's the one that's up and down right now. Can he be that guy? Can he not be that guy? I just don't know. Sometimes he looks good, sometimes he doesn't, and maybe that's just part of being a rookie quarterback. But
at the same time, he like them along with like New England. I just don't think they have weapons.
not right now. Yeah, I mean it'll take some while to build, something there. And I mean, as we know, Sean Payton's nobody to laugh at when it comes to coaching a football team. He knows what he's doing.
No, he definitely knows.
Yeah. But like I said, I'm not betting this team. They've screwed me left and right. I bet complete opposite of what team comes out to play on Sundays. So, Steelers entered the Raiders in the next game. No problem there. Najee Harris had himself a day, 14 carries, 106 yards, excuse me. I don't see why the Raiders are having O'Connell throw the football 40 times, but
Because they don't have Josh Jacobs back there running it 40 times.
yeah, I mean that's probably a big part of it. But I mean, you got to open the run game somehow. And I mean, with the Raiders, they were down most of this game and trying to claw their way back into it. I get it. So it just that O'Connell doesn't need to throw the ball 40 times.
No.
Really doesn't.
In today's NFL,
I'll tell you what, the one shining thing about the Raiders is Brock Bowers. Yeah, and we called it. We said it coming into the year. Brock Bowers is going to be that dude. And it's like, you give him a shit quarterback, Brock Bowers still going to be good.
it doesn't matter.
That is crazy.
Doesn't matter.
Good for him. I mean, if the Raiders were just a little bit better, Brock Bowers could be in conversation for Rookie of the Year if it was not for Jaden Daniels.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, at that point, it's Jaden and then probably, I don't want to say closely behind, but probably Caleb somewhere close.
Yeah, he's got to be close. I mean, he's got his team at 4-2 right now.
They're Chicago. They're going to screw him up somewhere.
Oh, yeah, of course. That's what happens.
That is exactly what happens.
The best game of the 4 o'clock, though, was my favorite one, as I'm sure is most people's favorite game, was the Lions and the Cowboys.
Ooh.
That was my favorite game of the week.
It was a beautiful game.
Man, it was fantastic. And how much does Dan Campbell hate the Cowboys? I mean, I really think he hates them with a passion. Like, every part of his being hates the Cowboys because he ran up the score, and not only did he run up the score, he did it with throwing linemen out at wide receiver and running hook and ladder plays with the linemen and everything. He was just showing off out there and just making the Cowboys defense look like complete and utter trash that they are.
Well, he made sure that the refs weren't going to screw him.
I mean, that's a good point. But
He's like, we're just going to put this thing away. We're going to stomp on the gas. We're never going to let off of it.
It was 37-9 at the end of the third quarter. So, I mean, all they did was handle business, and they stood on that business too.
You like it.
I loved every second of it. It was good. I just love watching this team get destroyed.
I did see an article or something today where they were talking. Jerry Jones did a radio show or something, and he even got like feisty with that guy about asking him questions. Even threatened to fire him. He's like, "I'll find somebody else to ask me questions."
Hey, and to top it all off, it was Jerry Jones' birthday.
I know. Happy 82nd birthday.
Old bastard.
God.
God, it was good. But no, it comes right back to it. The Lions definitely look like the best team in the NFC. Hawkinson had a gruesome injury. Hutchinson, excuse me. Hawkinson's already out for Minnesota. My bad. But Hutchinson had a gruesome injury. If you watch it in slow-mo like I did, I instantly regretted it. There's no way a leg is supposed to bend the way that it did.
I just saw the steel of it wrapped around the guy's
Yeah,
calf.
it was like it
And
literally
I'm just like,
wrapped around.
yeah, I don't need to see the video for that.
Yeah.
I know exactly what happened.
But the thing was, his leg like swung into his own player's leg, mind you, and it just like broke as soon as it made contact.
Yep, and wrapped.
And it wrapped around there like
Yeah, it
this.
was.
Oh, yeah, it was gruesome. Oh, yeah, it still gives me chills thinking about it. Can't get that image out of my head at all.
No, he's a big piece of their defense too.
Damn dog, trying to chew a bone in the middle of the show.
Well, that's our mascot for you.
Yeah, of course. She's always got to play a part in this thing.
Got to do something every time.
Right.
Anyway.
Yeah.
But
favorite game of the week, Dallas sucks. That was fun.
Talking about the Hutchinson injury, this goes back to what we were kind of talking about earlier. It's, guys looking to sell, teams looking to buy. If I'm Detroit, I'm calling Cleveland. I'm calling the Raiders. I'm calling a couple of teams just to see what's the possibility of trading for a guy. What's the possibility of trading for a Garrett or a Crosby or some type of pass rusher. I even saw a thing today where reading it, and I kind of liked it too. Atlanta's missing a pass rusher.
Yeah. The Eagles are missing a pass rusher. I mean, letting Hassan Reddick go is really, honestly, is coming back to bite us in the ass. So, I mean, you're talking about, do you make a move for one of these guys? Especially when you lose a Hutchinson, and your team is this good.
Yeah. Like
you don't want to lose a step, right? You don't want to lose any beat on defense, especially when you got a guy that was leading the league in sacks prior to this.
Yeah. They've got to make a move for somebody. I just don't believe you replace.
Damn dog went got another bone.
He's like, I'll show you.
She's something special. Oh well. You hear some bone chewing in the background. My bad.
Probably coming through my mic, so it's gonna be all good today. Probably louder than I am. But no, like they've got to make a move for somebody.
I'd say you got to explore the option, even if it's a 1-year rental on somebody. You just got to do something that allows for you to remain, relevant at this level that you're playing at right now. You don't want, like I said, you just don't want to lose a step the way you've been playing on both sides of this football. And
if it costs you a first-round pick or 2 first-round picks to get a Garrett or to get a Crosby, it's worth it. Because you already know what you're getting.
Exactly. And this team is good enough to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And God knows that Detroit wants one. They want one bad.
That they do, sir.
Yeah.
That they do.
Yeah. It's almost, they're one of those teams that, they kind of deserve it.
Dude, look at all the great players they've had and can't win one for nothing.
Hell, they could barely win a playoff game with those guys.
Yeah.
Well, then speaking of teams that are trash like the Cowboys, the Panthers are right there. They are now 1-5. as they took one on the chin at home against the Falcons. Kirko didn't have the same game he's been putting out recently.
No, he did not.
I thought he would come out and kind of ball out here, but then again, he didn't necessarily have to. It's weird to see Algier really get the bulk of the carries here. Now, I mean, I don't know. Did Bijan get hurt in this game or something?
I'm not sure. I mean, Bijan had 15 for 95.
So they controlled the clock in this one. It sounds like.
Yeah.
Because I mean, between the two of them, you're talking over 30 carries.
Yeah, they had 198 yards.
Yeah.
38 carries, 198 yards.
Yeah, impressive. They control the clock here. They definitely, I guess they found what worked for them against the Panthers and just rode it to the end. So, 38 points, hung on them on the road.
Yep.
So, or at home, the Falcons on the road. You know what I mean? Dang it.
I looked at that one. It's like, oh yeah, Kirk should have a monster game against this. I wasn't even thinking about the running backs.
Yeah, Sunday night was a bore. You had an underachieving Bengals team. And, I mean, a Giants team that we knew what you were getting. The Giants suck.
Defensively, they're not terrible.
No.
Offensively, they are god-awful.
Yeah.
Awful.
I mean, when Daniel Jones is your leading rusher in a game, something's wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, something big time wrong.
Yeah, and that's going to be, I mean, the Giants are just bad.
I mean, who you kind of really feel bad for is Malik Neighbors.
Yeah, I mean, he's in a tough spot, but, I mean, he's getting paid to do it, so at least he's got that going for him.
Yeah, I mean, he's an instant number one receiver there.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, you got Daniel Jones throwing you the football.
Yeah. Not where you want to be.
No. This is a bad spot offensively all around. Neighbors maybe slated to come back this week against the Eagles. I go ahead and chalk him up for probably about 130 yards, maybe a touchdown. Y'all go ahead and bet that because they play the Birds. And he'll show out and just, make us look like trash.
Yeah, dude, you guys aren't trash. You got a lot of young pieces in that back.
Oh yeah, no, I mean we do. There's things to be said that about the defense that could be good and can continue to improve, but at the same time, it's just, I want to see it against top flight competition. Don't try to sell me on the Browns and Giants or anything like that.
No, I ain't trying to sell you on either one.
Yeah, no, I mean I'm just meaning in general from the media or anybody else, right? Don't say, oh, this is a legit defense. I'm like, nah, I don't know. Baker fucking torched us. So, no hate towards Baker. I'm just saying they torched us. So, and you want to talk about a team that's played pretty good football. Defense didn't look good against a good team. Let's put it that way.
No.
Monday night, the Bills took care of the Jets, and what was a lot closer than I thought it would be. But yeah, the Bills go to New York and steal one away.
Yeah, I fell asleep probably about 5 minutes into the third quarter.
Yeah. It's about the time to go to sleep because there was no points really put on the board in that second half. 6 total. 3 each team. So basically you saw whatever the halftime was the end of the game.
Yeah. I did like the fact that the Jets decided, hey, man, we've got a good young guy in our backfield. Maybe we should use him a little more.
Yeah, I mean, why not? I mean, Aaron still threw the ball 35 times in this game.
He shouldn't have, though.
No, I mean Brees Hall got 18 carries. I think in the game like this, especially in his second half, where controlling the clock could be pivotal, to what you're doing, then do it.
Yeah.
Utilize. I mean, especially a guy with so little run on those legs right now. It's like fucking make him a bell cow and just run him.
He would run the ball.
Run him.
If I had him, he would run 25 times.
Easy.
Every game. I don't care.
Yeah.
You run it for 25 times, you get 75 yards, you're still running it 25 times.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, just run the hell out of that guy. You got that talent to do it with. Do it. Just
And now bringing in Devontae Adams, I think they've got even more reason to run him.
yes, because now you're gonna open up the deep ball to that man.
That's it.
The thing is, what I do like about the acquisition of Devontae Adams is it's an instantaneous set piece that comes in. He's going to be the number one over Garrett Wilson, and he's good. He already has the rapport with Rodgers. They go way back, of course. Like this is just it's going to click right from the get go.
How is this going to affect Garrett Wilson, though, is what I'm kind of curious on. Because you can see he's already targeting Lazard a bunch.
Mm-hmm.
And then you bring in Adams. It kind of feels like Wilson, though he's definitely more talented than Lazard.
I think it's just Rodgers sticking with what he knows and not trying to learn somebody else, right?
I get that.
At least that's what it seems like. He doesn't. He doesn't want. Maybe that's not the right thing to say because I feel bad to say that, but
it's what he does.
Is he putting in the work to build the rapport with Garrett Wilson that would be necessary for them to be successful? It's more of a question mark more than a statement because I wouldn't want to make a statement that says he's not doing that. But I would want to put in all the work I could with a guy that has proven to be a solid number one.
Yeah. I mean, he's nice hands, good route runner, excellent speed. I mean, if Ohio State can do anything, they can put out wide receivers.
That's absolutely true. We know that's fact.
I mean, they've been doing it for a minute, which is just kind of crazy if you want to be honest.
Yeah, having those trades in place, I mean, it's definitely interesting to see how that shapes out for the rest of the year. That's one we'll definitely look at. I don't know if Amari Cooper. I think the Amari Cooper thing is going to be another one you're going to want to watch. And the impact of that team and what he has, given such a big receiver, especially when it comes to red zone opportunities and trying to conserve like Josh Allen's body, keeping him from being as mobile as sometimes he's gotten. So those are two solid trades, I think, before the deadline and getting something done at a time where you want to go ahead and get these kind of moves done so you can have that rapport by the end of the year, right?
I thought DK Metcalf could have moved too.
Yeah, I'm I think we're going to get a couple more weeks to see where teams kind of almost level out, for lack of a better term, and see if are they more on the buy or sell side.
Well, we know who's not on the buy or sell side, and that's Dallas. They never do anything. Have you noticed that the last couple of years you're starting to see these trades at the deadline where you used to never see trades?
Yeah, more and more it seems to be more like there's more splashes, more things that are done. It's coming to be like a lot like baseball, a lot like the NBA. A lot more moving and shaking towards the deadline, where in previous years it's like, nope, we knew what we had this summer and we're going to keep going with that.
Yep. It's not that way anymore. If they start looking a little thin somewhere, or if they feel like there's one piece away, they try to get that piece. Or a lot of teams do. I don't know. Some teams don't make any moves, and I don't get that at all.
Yeah, I hate to cut you off, but Aaron Judge has the bases juiced right now. With 2 outs against Cleveland. So interesting with a 1-1 count. We are bottom of the second? Bottom of the second.
2-0 Yanks.
Yeah.
Bases loaded. 2 outs.
Oh, that was one to get. He just a little bit behind on that one.
Just a little. Man, that's one thing I don't think I could ever do.
Hit a major league fastball?
There ain't no. I couldn't hit a major league changeup. Like it ain't happening.
Yeah, because I mean these pitchers get such good break on a changeup. Even you're thinking it's coming in one spot, it'll fucking dip off 6 inches on you, and you're like, what the?
Dude, you're seeing. No,
That popped him out. And oh wait, there's
it's only one out.
only one out, so you got a sac fly, makes it 3-0. All right, on to the slate of games next week. You've got Thursday night matchup. Denver travels to New Orleans to play the Saints. Denver is a 2.5-point favorite. Like I said, I'm staying away from this.
I'm not betting on that.
No. Derek Carr most likely still going to. I'd say he's very doubtful here. But yeah, so you'll see. What's the dude's name? Albino looking dude from South Carolina.
Oh, Rattler.
Rattler, yeah. Spencer Rattler. That's it.
Yeah.
See him again. And then, of course, yeah, you're going to see Bo Nix. Like I said, I really don't know how to bet this one. Over-under is 37.5, so it's low. Hey, I might try to say under on this one.
I'd probably go under on that one.
Yeah, that one
That could
looks
be
like
a 10-13, 9-12 off field goal game.
It could be. Very much so.
We say this, and they'll probably score 55 or something.
Oh, yeah. Speaking vibes of Iowa this past weekend, killing my parlay. Jackasses.
Killed a lot of parlays.
Yeah, I know.
Killed a lot of parlays.
They did. On to the Sunday slate. New England travels to Jacksonville. Two awful teams going at it. Somehow Jacksonville's a 5.5-point favorite.
Because they're staying in London. It's another London game.
Oh, and Jacksonville is known to play over there quite a bit.
Played last week, playing this week.
Yeah. Damn. Okay.
I would say 5.5-point spread for the lag.
That could be it. Yeah, that's a good point, sir. I didn't even think about that. All right. Yeah. So not betting this one though. Nope, not worth it. Not a bit. I would say New England can take this or at least cover. But yeah, the jet lag does have a hell of a lot against you here. I'm staying away from it. Seattle on the road at Atlanta in the 1 o'clock games. Atlanta's a 3-point favorite. I'm slamming Atlanta to cover.
I like it.
Yeah. Over-under is 51.5. Don't know if I want to play with that. That's a little high for my liking. But might get the return of the Kirko we saw the previous 2 weeks instead of last week. So
I'll set him down and we'll see.
You're going to put him on the bench, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the Seattle defense is okay. So you don't know what you're going to get. But like we've seen, Kirko can come out and beat Kirko.
We'll see.
Yeah. Tennessee on the road at Buffalo. Buffalo an 8.5-point favorite. I want to slam that all day.
Me too.
Yeah,
sir.
Buffalo's going to cover. They got a new shiny piece to the offense now that will probably be utilized. I wouldn't expect a huge game out of Amari Cooper, but you could expect to see
his presence will be felt.
His presence to be felt. They're gonna have to account for him on defense. So, and as we've seen Tennessee play, and Buffalo's defense is pretty damn good.
Yeah.
And I mean the quarterback's Will Levis in Tennessee. So, and the mistakes and the things you've seen with him, yeah, I just see Buffalo just handling him in Buffalo.
I'm with you on the smash attack.
Yeah, smashing the 8.5. Get it while it's low because I'm sure it's just going to go up. Cincinnati at Cleveland. Both teams have been bad. Cincinnati's a 6.5-point favorite. Cincinnati's trying to get back on track. Cleveland lost a weapon on offense. Cincinnati. I don't know if they cover. 6.5 is a lot, especially for what you've seen out of Burrow so far this year.
Yep.
I saw a meme or something, how he's bleached his hair and he's dressing all weird each of these games. He said he's been winless since he's become a lesbian.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah,
That's pretty funny.
that was a
I
good
like
one.
it.
That was a good one. Next one, very interesting game at 1 o'clock. Green Bay's a 2.5-point favorite at home against Houston.
It's a big week. There's a couple of big games this weekend.
Yes, I'm looking at them, and there's definitely a good slate of them here for us to check out. But this one is going to be interesting. You have cross conference challenge here. Houston's riding high. This is a good test for that Green Bay defense, and then it'll be a good test for Jordan Love to see if he can pull out a win against one of the better teams here in the NFL in the early part of the season.
I'm not touching the actual winner or loser of this, but I could damn sure see the over.
The over 47.5 looks nice. I agree with you on that. 47.5 is a good round number for two offenses that can score in bunches. Over 47.5 looks nice on that one. I agree with you. I think Green Bay comes into their own. Houston at times has been vulnerable and has squeaked some of these games out, right?
Yeah.
So I like Green Bay at home here. I'd say money line if you want to bet it. But I do like Jordan Love and getting back on track and getting a good marquee win right here.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. I'll still probably end up saying Green Bay, but, I tend to throw them on the parlay all the way. So
Yeah, why not? I mean, pull for the team, buddy. I get you. I get you. What's our next one?
All right. The next big game. Vikings and Lions.
Oh yeah, that's another 1 o'clock slater.
Yep.
They're in Minnesota, 2.5-point favorite is Minnesota, so the home team does have the favorite. I'm going to slam Detroit to take this. If you're going to give me 2.5 points, give me Detroit.
I like Detroit from 2.5. I like the over.
Over under is 49.5, and both of these teams have been shown to prove they can put some points on the board in each week too. The over 49.5 might not even be bad to take a look at.
No, I'm digging it.
I like Jared Goff in this one. Minnesota's still got good wins on the board too. I mean, it's not like they're beating, cupcakes.
No, they are playing very good.
They are. It's kind of a shocker. I'm going to take Detroit. I've been riding them, been talking them up a lot. Give me Detroit in this one. They need that one win, and it's a NFC North rivalry game. So this is one to get.
Yeah, I like Detroit with plus the 2.5. I think that's fantastic. I like the over. But in all honesty, I'm really rooting for the sinkhole.
Of course. Why wouldn't you not?
I mean, not that I should hate both of these teams with a passion. I really don't. I don't have that much hate for a team except for Dallas and the Yankees.
Definitely the Yankees.
Dallas, Cowboys and the Yankees are the only teams I really have hate. Well, Ohio State, Notre Dame, but that's a little different.
I got a lot of hate for a lot of teams in my heart. I let it all out too.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
I've seen the good side of that hate, and I've seen the bad side. Let's see.
Got Miami at Indy this week. I know there's not much on that. Indy's a 3.5-point favorite at home. You just really got two teams that are kind of unpredictable here. Miami's just kind of a shell of its former self now that Tua is not there. That's another team you would think would want to make a move for a quarterback here sometime soon. They've yet to do so. Indy's kind of got a leg up there, I think, offensively, especially with the way Flacco's been running running this offense. So I would take Indy in this one. Just on the money line, I don't know about the cover because you just really don't know what you're going to get out of that Miami team.
I think Indy smokes them.
Yeah. It very well likely could happen. So
unless Miami just decides, hey, we're going to run the ball 700 times.
Your last 1 o'clock game is an NFC East matchup of the Philadelphia Eagles on the road at MetLife Stadium against the New York Giants. The Eagles are 3.5-point favorites, and the over/under is 42.5. Kind of like the under in this one because Philly's offense just does not put any points on the board. You want a prop bet here. If Neighbors is back, he's going to torch him. He's going to have over 100 yards and a touchdown. Just mark my words. Then I do like Philly on the money line here.
I like Philly -3.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about a team that's not going to be able to score, but then again, we just played a team I think is worse than the Giants in Cleveland, and the spread of that game was 4, so it's a tough one for me to really have a lot of belief in. I do think Philly on the money line is not a bad bet here. I like to see the Birds really put something together offensively, and show me something. But the realist in me just doesn't have a lot of high hopes for this offense right now. Until they just come out and just hang 30 on somebody and just look somewhat efficient on offense, I'm just gonna be pessimistic about it.
Man, a lot of 1:00 games next week. Crazy.
Yeah. And then the 4:05 or the 4 o'clock slate starts with Vegas on the road with Rams in SoFi. The Rams are 7-point favorites. Vegas has lost their best receiver outside of Brock Bowers.
Yeah.
Brock Bowers is going to have to step up in a bigger role now, bigger than the one he was already in. And there's word on the street that Cooper Kupp might be back this week. That's big for Matt Stafford. Oh, I don't know if Matt Stafford's back.
Yeah.
Well, that's big. I mean, anybody you can get healthy for that roster, especially as injury riddled as they've been, and just the way they've been able to survive it somewhat.
They have been just decimated.
Yeah, they've hit the struggle bus there. Yeah, for sure. I don't know about a 7-point spread here, but
7 seems like a lot.
It seems like a lot. I'm just gonna take Rams money line. Probably not paying out much. Throw it in a parlay. Could be easy money. Carolina at the Washington Commodes is your other 4 o'clock here. Washington's a 7.5-point favorite.
I like it.
The way Washington's offense has been able to click, they scored against the Ravens. 23, I think. They played well. This one's in Washington. Yeah, I'd say I'd take Washington to cover.
Yeah.
7.5. I think they cover over Carolina.
I think they
here.
got that easy.
Yeah. Kansas City at San Francisco. This is a rematch of the Super Bowl from last year. San Francisco is a 1.5-point favorite. And this is the one where I think San Francisco, that team is built with a bunch of egos, a bunch of guys that like to talk a lot of shit. They're going to probably try to back it up in this one.
Oh, yeah.
I think they'll look for the revenge, same way they did against Philly the year before, because of all the bullshit that they felt like they got handed. I'd take San Francisco and give a 1.5. It's not that big a deal, but Kansas City on the road. This is where they fumble right here.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I like them going on the road. I think it's two teams that the refs both kind of play for. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Even though I feel like the Chiefs.
Oh, they're the benefactor of all calls, really.
Yeah. But I think this could be the game that they lose.
Yeah, this is the one where you see an L, definitely for Kansas City. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think Kansas City gets up for this game. I just don't think they're going to have enough here on the road, especially offensively. They just haven't been what they were without. Yeah, losing Pacheco, losing Rice. This offense is not the same, and you're going up against a defense that it's not the same either. But they're still good enough to get it done here, and wreak some havoc on Mahomes in this one.
Oh,
yeah, San Francisco, and give them a 1.5.
Yep, and then we finish off Sunday night with the Steelers and Jets.
Yes,
Jets are 1.5-point favorites.
Yeah, there's been word that might see Russell Wilson in this game.
I would never do that.
No, stupid move. But there's been there's been talks that he might actually get clock here. I don't know why. Doesn't make sense. I don't think he brings anything more to this team or to improve them upon where they're at. Yeah, the Steelers. I mean, really, their only bad loss was that Dallas loss. And the thing was, they didn't run the ball against them.
Yeah.
If you were to run the ball like you should have against them, Pittsburgh's going to take care of it.
Should have been a lot of design runs for Justin Fields, and Najee Harris should have touched the ball 30 times.
I agree with you. Yeah, and I mean that's the formula to beat Dallas, 100%.
I mean, they can't stop the run.
They can't.
They
There's
haven't
no
been able
way.
to stop the run for years.
Yep. They also cannot run the football, so all you got to do is just throw the nickel out there and make things happen.
Yep.
New York has a shiny piece on offense that they would like to utilize this week. I'm sure Devontae Adams will insert himself immediately into this offense, and we'll see it click because these two guys have rapport already. This thing, they're going to knock some rust off, I'm sure, but for the most part, you'll see a connection that has been there in the past, and it shouldn't be too terribly difficult for these two guys to get back on the same page. Doing against that Pittsburgh defense, though, is asking a lot. Give me Pittsburgh, and if you give me 1.5 points, I might as well take it.
Yeah, if you get a point and a half at home.
Yeah.
Home dogs.
Home dogs, yeah. Let's take Pittsburgh to ride this one.
I'm with you all day.
Got the doubleheader matchup on Monday again. Don't know why they're doing this shit, but here they are. Baltimore at Tampa Bay. That's a good one. And holy shit, has Baltimore had a rough road. They've played everybody so far, right?
Good on them for being 4-2.
Yeah.
It just shows that, hey, we are playing everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, who'd they lose to? Who's their two losses?
Well, one was the Raiders, which it should never been.
Mind-blowing loss, right?
Right. And then they lost to Kansas City, right?
Yeah. Yep, they had to lose.
That was the
Kansas.
first
Yeah,
game.
the first game.
Yeah. Yeah, they started 0-2, so you're like, what's going on? And now Baltimore's 4-0 since. And Baltimore's a 3.5-point favorite on the road at Tampa Bay. Defense is going to be a little bit different. They just do a good job on defense at Baltimore. They're going to show them a lot of different things and really try to disguise a lot of their coverages.
Yeah.
Stuff that Baker's just really struggled against in the past. Not saying he hasn't improved against that, but it is one way to minimize the output of what Baker brings to the field, especially for this team.
Well, I mean, Baltimore, they're smart. They do what they do best, and that is just manage the clock and run the ball.
Yeah, that's what they're going to do. I mean, you got design runs for Lamar. And then you got King Henry back there doing his thing. So.
Yeah, and it just kills me to be that guy. Oh, let's just run the ball. Because, I am not, the most patient person when it comes to that.
But when it works, and it's just really difficult not to do it, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm with you. But it's just, God, the rules play for the past, but, when you've got a good running game, it's beautiful to watch.
Yes, 100%. I agree with you.
It's beautiful.
So, yeah, I think I'm going to take Baltimore here. I don't know if they cover 3.5. I'd say money line for me, just because this one's on the road. Baltimore's had a lot of difficult games. That it's gonna be a little bit tighter than expected. They're just playing really solid football, and they're playing against a team that's playing really solid football. So
I'm going to take I like the over on this game.
yeah, 47.5 is something that both teams can do.
I'm looking at Baltimore's entire schedule, and they've only not eclipsed 47.5 once. And in that game, when they beat Buffalo, 35-10.
So 45 points.
Yeah.
That sounds like a good over/under right there.
I like the over on it. Like the over. Kind of like Baltimore minus 4.5.
3.5.
I'm
You're
I'm
saying
saying it's 4.5 here.
Oh.
That is 3.5. It opened at 4.5. It's
open
down
it for, it's down to 3.5. Yeah, paying people taking Tampa. All right. So Los Angeles at Arizona. This is the Charger version of Los Angeles. At the 9 o'clock slate, you get your West Coast game in. Tickets are as cheap as $22 for this one, as they should be.
Well, I mean, you're playing in Phoenix.
Playing in Phoenix, and you're playing with a team that's not good. And the Chargers, I mean, they're barely holding their head above water. Chargers are 2.5-point favorites. Give me the Chargers.
Did Harrison get hurt this weekend, too? He
Yes,
was
he
out?
did. I don't know
Or
if
he's
he's out.
questionable?
He might be questionable, but yeah, he got hurt this week. He left the game. So, yeah, well, one less piece on that offensive side of the football.
Yeah. That's a big piece, though.
I agree with you. Give me the Chargers, and they can have the 2.5 points.
I like it. I like it. This is going to be the game that Kyler starts nursing an injury anyway.
So we had a good week of college football too.
Ooh. Yes, we did.
Started off Friday with Arizona State upsetting Utah. Well, I mean, I don't know what's going on with Utah. That was our Big 12 champ, and they are 1-2 in the Big 12.
Cam Rising's hurt.
Yeah, I know.
He's done for the year.
Well, it doesn't matter. He was in this game. Threw 3 picks before he got hurt.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. And now there's talk about him possibly getting another medical red shirt.
How can he? It's beyond the 4 games.
He didn't play in the first game, I think.
But still, he would have played, well, in the partial game. That one, yeah, that could be tricky. I mean,
Yeah, they're talking the possibility is out there that he could get it.
that's crazy.
I mean, think about it. There's a dude in Miami that is, 26 or 27 years old?
Yeah. Yeah, it could be had, I guess.
Just crazy to me. Just crazy. Whatever, though.
Yeah, you had the Red River rivalry. Red River rivalry. Say that 3 times fast. Texas just creamed Oklahoma, dude. It wasn't close at any point. They just handled business, and they did it on the road. Took care of business. Thought this one was going to be a lot closer than it was. Texas, clear-cut number 1 team in the country right now.
Texas is the only number 1 team beating teams the way they should.
Yes, exactly. They're handling business, and they look the part. That's is what it comes down to. Now, don't get me wrong. The next game, or the other big game this weekend, Ohio State and Oregon, was fun.
Yeah.
That one was every bit of what you could expect of it and more. That's the game of the weekend, and Oregon took care of business for the first time. Like, I feel like Oregon is like a legit national contender that you can watch throughout this year. Now, Oregon has been known to slip up in games they're not supposed to slip up in. So they need to make sure that they handle the teams they're supposed to handle and then come ready to beat these teams like Ohio State. Couldn't happen to a better team, mind you.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. I'm with you all day on that, buddy.
Yeah. So, good to see Oregon finally get like a big marquee win like this in a spot like this, and really, their first year in the Big Ten is really cool.
Yeah. Crazy. I don't think Oregon's like they get Illinois in a couple of weeks. Who's 5-1. They get Michigan, and then that's it for ranked teams the rest of the year. They play Maryland, who's not been good. Wisconsin, who's been okay.
Yeah.
Washington, who's been okay.
I mean, but you're just talking about the opportunities to slip up and have those games that you're not supposed to have. And Oregon always has them. If they can avoid those this year.
Well, on the road in the big house is probably going to be by far their toughest test they got left.
Sure. But that's where you show out. This is where you make it happen. If you can beat the 2 dominant teams of this conference, the sky's the limit, right?
I
No, I mean we
don't-
both did. We both talked big about Oregon.
Yeah, I'm just glad I'm glad Ohio State lost. That makes me feel good. There's your $20 million payroll,
Yeah.
and you're taking the L. But at the same time, a little bit of gamesmanship going on.
Yeah, that the ending of that one was pretty smart, pretty intelligent.
I mean, 4 seconds is 4 seconds. That kept them from being able to kick a field goal at the end.
Exactly.
And yeah, I think it's great that Lanning came out. Heck yeah, we did it on purpose.
Why not?
The more I read about that guy, the more I like him.
I mean, but that's the kind of intelligent kind of move you want to make in those kind of crunch time moments that you have, right? I mean, you want a guy that's thinking that way outside of the box that's going to win you a football game.
Yeah. You want to see a guy that can manage the clock, that makes the right moves. And at the moment, he's making all the right moves.
Yeah.
All of them. Lots of big games this past weekend there.
Yeah, Penn State took care of USC in overtime. I watched that one. I was disappointed because I took Penn State and given 6.5 points, and they won by 3 in OT. And USC missed that field goal at the beginning of overtime, and I was like, damn it.
That's going to be a wrap.
That was a wrap right there. I knew, because even if they scored a touchdown, they're not going to kick the extra point because it's over.
Yep, it's over at that point.
The only hope I could have had was they hit that field goal. Penn State was forced to kick a field goal, tie it. They get the ball back. Then they score a touchdown, kick the extra point, and then USC can't score a touchdown. That just didn't happen for me, unfortunately.
We talked earlier before I told you I'm just done betting on SEC games because they're driving me crazy. Georgia's doing it to me. Alabama's doing it to me. Ole Miss is doing it to me.
Well, yeah, look at it. I mean, this weekend alone, Georgia goes at home, plays Mississippi State, and they win by 10.
Well, it was 27-10 at halftime.
Yeah, things look good, and it's like they lit their foot off the pedal, and it's like, oh, going to make this thing closer than it should have been.
That's the way I felt about the Alabama-South Carolina game. I mean, Alabama had to score.
13 points in the fourth quarter in order to take this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I was watching that, and that swing right before halftime was crazy.
Yeah, that's not what you needed in terms of momentum, because Bama was looking good, right?
Yeah.
It was like, okay, this is what we expected, and then it really turned the tide.
Yeah, it was 14-3
Instead
at
of
that point, and
stupid
then that
fun.
9-point swing. I mean,
Yep.
a touchdown and a safety.
Yeah.
Just what is going on? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, another game that fucked me too in the SEC was Tennessee and Florida. I thought Tennessee was going to ride away with this one. And when it was 3-0 at halftime, I was like, what?
What is going on?
What's going on? Like, I know better to bet on Tennessee because they're going to fuck me. And that's because of my long hatred for that
I looked at that
garbage
one, and
bag
I think, if I remember correctly,
fucking
it was
organization.
Tennessee minus 10 or something like that, if I believe.
They're 14.5-point favorites.
Oh, yeah, no.
I was like, they're going to do this. No problem. No problem. Florida was awful. Florida's awful. Florida is bad. Florida's a bad football team.
They're a bad football team.
Yeah, they're god awful. Tennessee should have routed them, but no, unfortunately not. They didn't put any points up in the first half. So
Considering they're supposed to be like an offensive juggernaut. It's kind of the way I feel about Ole Miss too, and Ole Miss lost 2 in a row.
But I took LSU to win this. So I mean, it was part of the parlay that did not hit thanks to these other games. But
I mean, it's a night game in LSU. It's gonna be a big
yeah,
game.
Death Valley's fun, boy. And yeah, the LSU 2-0 in the SEC now, 5-1 overall. That one went to OT, and LSU just eked it out. I mean, it's a big win, man. That's one you want to take when you can take it. You get those big wins, the momentum builders, the resume builders.
Yeah, but Brian Kelly loses to a team he shouldn't lose to.
Right.
It's gonna happen. I don't know who it's gonna be, but they're gonna lose to somebody they shouldn't lose to.
It's the Notre Dame in them.
It is. It's always been him. Always been him.
Yeah, you flip it back to the ACC though, and Clemson's just smashing. Clemson is telling everybody in the country, "We coming."
They took it on the chin, week 1 or week 0, whatever.
Yeah, whatever. Early.
And they have not looked back since.
No. And the thing is that whole week 0 loss don't mean shit right now.
No,
Because when you want to talk about an eye test, the eye test says Clemson is the deal right now.
I was flipping back and forth between that game and the Alabama game, and I was more watching the Alabama game. And
Right, because this one got out of hand.
Well, no, I saw like early, it was 7-0 Wake Forest. So I'm like, what the hell is going on over here? And so I watched for a second, and then I went back to the South Carolina-Alabama game, and then next thing you know, halftime comes. I'm watching all that go down with Alabama, and then it's boom, and then it's like, oh, halftime in Wake Forest. And it's like, what the heck?
Yeah, 28-14 and a half.
Yeah, they
opened it up.
Yeah, and never stopped.
No. A game I was going to bet, and I was like, nope, Notre Dame's going to screw me. I talk all this hate. No, they definitely covered. Notre Dame smashed Stanford.
Stanford's not really good.
No, they're not. I think it was. I think they were 17. Notre Dame was 17-point favorite going into this. I was like, I know Stanford's awful. This could be a good one. And no, here I am regretting not betting it. Instead,
there's always games I regret not betting.
Yeah, Iowa State over West Virginia. Iowa State remains undefeated on the year. BYU remains undefeated. They handled Arizona, a team that shows they could show up and beat you. You're not ready for it.
Yeah.
But that was another one of the parlay that hit for me. Outside of the one that cost me every time. Boise State handled Hawaii. Kansas State over Colorado. Colorado remained in that one all the way to the end.
Colorado's not bad. I think they're almost there.
Defensively, they have to improve. That's the biggest thing. They got to get better on defense because your offense will keep you in games.
Yeah,
you just got to get better defensively.
We kind of skipped over the Boise State game, but they're running back.
That dude is nuts, right?
Ridiculous.
217 yards in this game.
Ridiculous. He was on pace, and he still may be on pace to break Barry Sanders' single-season rushing record.
Yes.
I mean,
he's still on pace for it. And actually, I think he increased his pace.
Dude, just how he stands in like the backfield and stuff, it's just like, because he just stands there. He's straight up. He's vertical. There's no squat. There's no bend,
there's no prep. He's just
standing there.
Yeah, if you haven't got a chance to watch this guy, Genty,
take a look.
He's fun to watch. I mean, he's definitely going to be playing at the next level. I don't care if he's doing this to bad competition or what. This guy's just fun to watch. And I mean, he put the ball in his hands, he gets things done.
I mean, what, 12, almost 1,300 yards, 17 or 18 touchdowns?
Yep.
I mean, that's just nuts.
Insane clip he's running at. He's putting up video game numbers right now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
No, it's all good.
A little love.
Yeah. Mizzou actually showed out, but, I mean, they did play UMass, so nothing.
They needed the UMass.
They needed the confidence builder back, right? Yeah.
They did. That they did. Pittsburgh, surprising undefeated ACC team.
Yeah.
Continue to win. Ugly, but
California still winless in the ACC.
Winless in the ACC, and I believe they've given. Who did they beat? They beat somebody that's actually good. I'll have to check it out. Click on their schedule. They beat somebody though.
Yeah, so Illinois is still ranked in the top 25, but beat Auburn. Florida State, they lost to Florida State, remember?
Yeah. They played Miami close.
Mm-hmm.
They probably should have.
Yeah. Well, Illinois, let Purdue play them into overtime. How, I don't know, because Purdue was god awful.
That freaking 40 points in the second half.
Mm-hmm.
Good gracious.
Yeah, this is not good.
How you step off of that throat?
I mean, how do you give up that much points to that bad of a Purdue team? A team you held to 3 points in the first half, mind you, and just complete opposite in the second half.
You're asking the wrong dude about defense in college. My team doesn't have one of those.
They haven't for years, really.
No. The crazy part is they don't ever have a good defense, but they always seem to put like some pros from the defense. They'll have one or two guys that are really good.
Yeah, just one guy.
Yeah, and that's it.
Kind of like the Raiders and Max Crosby, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Got this one guy on defense, but the rest of the Raiders D,
Not good. Not good.
quick look over the schedule for football this week.
Oh, we got massive games this week.
Yeah, of course we do. This is the one week that everybody wants to stay home and watch football. But it all starts off somehow today for some reason. You had Troy at South Alabama, Kennesaw State, the lovable losers of the college football 2025 video
Yes,
game.
they are.
At Mid Tennessee State, and Louisiana Tech at New Mexico State. All very weird, weird having football on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. But, these smaller conferences are definitely holding them. Wednesday, you got Western Kentucky at Sam Houston and Florida International at UTEP. Thursday, you have, again, smaller conference, Georgia State at Marshall. But then Boston College and Virginia Tech. It's like ACC football on a Thursday night. All right.
ACC football on a Friday.
Yeah, Florida State goes to Duke. And Duke's a 3-point favorite in that one. Yeah, Friday night Oregon plays. Oregon's at Purdue.
Got BYU playing on Friday night also. I mean, those are nice games to start out the week.
Yeah.
But the meat and potatoes are coming out Saturday, man.
Yes. We actually have those. Those are all. You got Bama at Tennessee. Huge rivalry game there in the SEC. Bama's a 3-point favorite. They are on the road. Both of these teams, really tested last week, so it'll be interesting to see how this one really plays out. Of course, I'm pulling Bama all the way.
I'm with you.
Yeah, Michigan's on the road at Illinois. Battle of top 25 teams. Michigan is a 3-point favorite on the road there.
Yep.
Then, what you really want to see is you got Georgia making its first road trip to Texas. They're going to go to Houston and take on the number one team in the nation. As we saw with Georgia and Bama, it was very close. What we've talked about with Texas and just how potent that offense is. They're a 3.5-point favorite at home. That one at 7:30 on Saturday night is going to be.
That's going to be the
game of the week.
Oh,
Game
yeah.
of the week. Game of the week. Easy. I just Georgia's defense, Texas's offense. It's a matchup made in heaven. One, even a casual football fan is going to want to take part in. Ewers really gets to show what he's about against a top flight defense in what Georgia has.
Texas wins this game. I don't know who beats them.
Not for the rest of the year, not till you get maybe
The SEC championship game.
which it would be either Tennessee or Georgia.
There is no divisions anymore. It's
That's right. It's one big.
it's the top two.
So
teams.
what, you get a matchup with Bama possibly? Yeah.
Bama, Georgia.
So
LSU,
see
I
this
think
game
that-
again. LSU looks good. Yeah. Barring some kind of miracle, Missouri or Ole Miss.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, really, what you're going to get here is this could decide what we see in the conference championship later on in the year.
Yes, sir. Other than that, you got that's it as far as big games.
Big games.
Yeah. I mean,
course.
there's a few games that are rivalries that are out there. game I'm keeping an eye on is the Georgia Tech Notre Dame game.
Yes.
Georgia Tech.
Yeah, it's at Georgia Tech. Notre Dame's an 11-point favorite.
I like Georgia Tech plus 11.
I think I do too. With what Georgia Tech can do, they've looked better than normal. I know we like to joke about them a lot, but
They look good.
yeah,
They look good. They handle Florida State game one. I mean, every team has a game where they don't look their best. They lost to ranked Louisville.
yep.
And they lost to Syracuse in a tight one. In the
Syracuse will look good.
Yeah. So that's
My
why
ACC pick is doomed.
That's the yeah. Well, I think we both lost on that one.
Yeah, you took Florida State and I took NC State. Ugh, God, man, we couldn't have made worse picks, could we? We probably doomed them with making those picks.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
The Jabbo curse.
you gotta say it's a Jabbo curse.
I'm just fucking with you.
I don't have a curse. I mean, I guess I kind of do. My problem is I just refuse to pick Bama or Georgia in the SEC.
Whoops.
I just refuse.
I took Georgia. Nah, but I mean, it doesn't look. It's not all awful. If Georgia beats Texas this weekend, my pick looks good again.
Yeah. My pick does not look good.
No. Ole Miss losing to Kentucky really set that one
It's not
in
even
the
losing
wrong
to-
direction, and then losing to LSU, it's like, oh shit.
As long as we don't lose to Vandy, we'll be all right.
Well, I know what that's like. Thanks for rubbing it in, asshole.
I'm sorry.
I mean, Vandy did beat Bama, so
They did.
it's not all that bad.
Vandy's record is actually 4-2.
I know. Who would have thought? But
With wins over Bama and Kentucky.
shit,
Just like what?
it's aggravating as hell.
I love the video of Lane Kiffin watching the end of it while he's at his presser. He's like, "Yeah, you got to give me a second, man. We're watching something that we may never see again."
Exactly.
He's like, "How many times out left? What?
Yeah, and just paying attention to this thing, like, hey, Vandy's gonna do this.
You're watching history,
Exactly.
like seriously history." Oh, that is.
Yeah. So you want to wrap this up without talking about baseball?
Now we're gonna talk about it for a second, just for a second.
Are you sure?
Well, I want to talk about it. Actually, I probably don't even deserve to talk about it, considering I was a sell now guy.
You were the sell now guy, but I mean, 2 years ago you saw a very similar style to baseball that the Phillies played and went to the World Series, right?
Yep.
The Phillies got hot, bats were hot, and it had a 2-1 game World Series lead and blew it. Bats went cold. Just an inopportune time. Shit happens. I mean, you got no hit in the fucking World Series.
That's baseball, though.
Well, it is. It is. I mean, and that's what you saw with this series. The bats went cold against the Mets. They picked it up a little bit in Game 2, but in Game 3, Game 4, they just couldn't amount to put any runs on the board, and leaving runners stranded in places left and right. There's a lot of mental mistakes defensively they did. They just didn't look like. I mean, really. If you go back and look at after the All-Star break, the Phillies weren't really the same team they were at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, they kind of jumped out hot.
They jumped out hot and everything looked good. I mean, they finished second best record in baseball. I mean, it wasn't awful, but I mean, they were head and shoulders the best team in baseball at the All-Star break by a lot of games at this point, right? So they had a pad of that, and they came out of the All-Star break cold, and just any amount of extra time off than what they're used to really did seem to affect the way they played. And having that week off before they got the Mets, it seemed to have a effect on the momentum. I'm not going to say that's the reason. Really, the reason is our bats seem to go cold at inopportune times. You have a payroll like that, you need to be able to hit the damn baseball. I mean, yeah, you don't bring in a Trey Turner. You don't have Bryce Harper. Nick Castellanos, who was actually one of the bright spots in this series. JT Realmuto. These guys just, they're paid a ridiculous amount of money and not to be able to hit the ball. Because the pitching wasn't really a big issue. The bullpen was. The bullpen, cost us at least two of those games. But
that's your weakest spot.
But it was supposed to be a bright spot this year. And at the break, we pull in a Hoffman to help in those relieving spots, and he looked good in spots. But honestly, it just the bullpen didn't help us when the bats are cold, and that's what you want. The bullpen to kind of step up and keep those low scoring games low.
Yeah.
But the Mets, they just find ways to win. I mean, the thing is, they barely got out of that Brewers series, right? It's a surprise that they were even in this next round. And then when they got it, they took advantage of the opportunities they had, and they just never gave up. They just have that kind of will to win. And I fucking hate saying it about the Mets because I hate them almost as much as I hate the Braves. Not that much, but because I fucking really hate the Braves and stupid tomahawk chalk and everything. But I'm glad they got swept out too. So, that's why I got the Dodgers hat on. So, definitely don't want the Mets winning.
Yeah, well, it's long series still yet.
Yeah, tied 1 game apiece. So, series is shifting back to New York now, right?
Yeah.
So,
I was surprised that New York got out of the Brewers series. I was super surprised they got out of the Philly series.
Why they handled Philly?
I just didn't expect it.
Oh, I mean, looking on paper and everything, I mean, the Phillies should have walked out of this one in 3 games, but it's just not the way baseball works. But it is what it is. And then, one of the hottest teams in baseball were the Padres, and the Dodgers got out of that one. That was shocking. But with a payroll like the Dodgers have, that's what you expect. And that's what you should get that's where they should be. They should be.
I mean, what we should see if you want to go payroll, we should be looking at a Yankees-Dodgers World Series.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of what teams spend, and then, I mean, but right now you got the Yankees and the Guardians. Guardians are just, it's crazy to see them here. Now, right now, they're struggling. Already down 1 game. They're down 3-0 here in the top of the 5th. They're trying to make something happen. They got 2 men on with Ramirez at bat, but no out. So here's a perfect chance for them to get back into this game.
Yeah, perfect chance.
Yeah, I think the Dodgers and Mets go 7. I think the Yankees take this one in 5.
I like it. I agree with you. I think Dodgers actually win at 6.
Yeah.
Yeah. They've got too many bats, man.
They do, but the thing is, I mean, you thought the Phillies had a bunch of bats. We saw what happens. So.
I just don't see it, man.
I hear you.
Maybe that's just my going the other way just because I don't want to jinx my team.
Fair enough, yeah. No more Jabbo curses is what you're saying?
Yeah.
All right, then I'm going to say Mets in 5.
Oh, Lord.
All right, dude, let's do this again next week.
Yes, sir, buddy.
All right, man, we'll see you.